Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. Today, we got some really cool topics, and make sure you watch this video all the way till the end so you don't miss out on any important crypto updates. First of all, Black Swan author urges use cryptocurrencies. In brief, increasingly in Lebanon, Egypt, and Poland, banks are limiting access to foreign currency. The measures are in response to the CV crisis, which Nassim Nicholas Taleb does not consider to be a black swan event, and Taleb has advised people to turn to cryptocurrencies. Nassim Nicholas Taleb says that cryptos are the solution to banks in Lebanon and elsewhere, increasingly limiting access to hard currencies. I actually find this quite fascinating, but since it's a topic we've talked about very often, I just briefly want to state what it says right here. BDL is confiscating all the value of foreign currency remittances through money counters. Since trust in Lebanon banks is long gone, BDL is forcing the counters to pay their value in worthless lira to beneficiaries and selling the hard currency to him. Use cryptocurrencies is what Nassim replied to this all, and I think it's actually a strong message to a lot of people who are in doubt and a lot of people who might go into a little bit of an uproar because of the situation going on. But it's also another positive thing for Ripple and XRP, looking at only this story right here as basically these remittances is what they want to change, right? And it's also just in general, the remittance movement is definitely going on at its peak right now. Alright guys, before we get into the next article, make sure you press the like button and subscribe if you support or enjoy the daily crypto news, because I want to try hit 50,000 subs by the end of the year, and all the likes and the comments and the subs, they all help to reach that goal, and I think it would really be amazing if you guys could just help me out a little bit. Alright, crypto traders warn big Bitcoin price plunge is around the corner after stagnancy. For 15 days, the Bitcoin price has been stuck in the same range, consolidating at the same time support level at $6,700. Although Bitcoin surged to as high as $7,400 recently, it failed to test a key resistance level at $7,700 and has been stagnant since. Often, when the Bitcoin price becomes stuck in a tight range for an extended period of time, it tends to see a significant volatility in the near term. While the Bitcoin price could spike upwards in a strong short squeeze, given the negative funding rate of the Bitcoin futures, more technical factors point towards a bearish retest of lower support levels rather than an abrupt upsurge. A funding rate is a term used on futures exchanges to describe a system that compensates short and long holders, balancing out the market. As an example, the current funding rate of Bitcoin on BitMEX hovers at 0.01%, meaning that traders who long Bitcoin are betting that the Bitcoin price will go up have to pay 0.01% of their position to short contract holders, as there are more individuals shorting Bitcoin in the market. Funding rate is one of many indicators alongside volume, open interest, RSI, horizontal resistance, and support levels that traders utilize to predict the price trend of Bitcoin. So there's a couple of predictions that people have been making, and one of the things is that on the shorter term we're going to be going down. Actually, that's one of the bigger things I've been seeing. And shorter term here, I'm actually still talking about, I guess still a month really. Long term, I think most people have been bullish. Here you can see really short term we're going to be going up. A little bit longer term, a couple of months, we're going to be going down. And that's actually the idea that I've been seeing in most of the people. But also, stablecoin demand surges. That's something that's quite notable, I should say. As the Bitcoin price struggles to surge past key resistance levels, demand for stablecoins has increased noticeably in the past month. And I believe 2 days ago, I actually in my video had a pretty big monologue, I think, on why I think stablecoins might be going up right now, or why a lot of people might be buying stablecoins, and of course not going up in terms of price, because the whole idea of a stablecoin is to stay stable, but in terms of demand, or in terms of how many people adopt it slash are trying or willing to use it. And to really kind of sum that up is a lot of people have fears over volatility. A lot of people also want to kind of be in something that is going to keep its value. And of course, with Bitcoin, there's always a chance of the price going down. And at some point, since people are taking their money out of stocks or people taking their money out of Bitcoin, they might go for something that's, I guess, relatively close to fiat and go for stable coins. Now, that's a very, very small part of the story. But yeah, if you're more interested in it, just comment it down below. I'll do a full, elaborate version all on that. It's basically just a lot of people cash out of Bitcoin when the times are rough and when they don't know where it's going to go, and they end up going to stable coins. That's one of the things. Also, stable coins are growing quite a lot of functionality in terms of adoption, in terms of what you can do with it, where you can spend it all. And also, people are really, really, really insecure right now about where Bitcoin is heading. And I think that's also adding to it all. Stablecoins have been such a large spike in usage that value transfers on Ethereum reached that of Bitcoin for the first time in history. Crypto researcher Ryan Watkins said on the matter, "This is a story of the explosion of stablecoins in Q1 of 2020. Q1 was stablecoins' best quarter ever, driven by the global flight of safety amidst the CV pandemic. Stablecoin issuance ballooned over $8 billion in the quarter. Stablecoin added nearly as much market cap in Q1 as they did in all of 2019. And then here is another part of it all. It's actually contrarian to what I've seen on most articles, a bullish short-term case to $8,000. But the reason I think being is that this is a short-term to 8K, which is not even, yeah, it's actually is. It's at like 13% up from where we are right now. So it's bullish, but it's not really a big move. It's not really a big thing. But yeah, there are some people who are still bullish in it all, even though I think it's the minority. Ripple XRP just reclaimed a multi-year trend line. This is why this is crucial for the bulls. With Ripple XRP actually holding the title of one of the worst performing crypto assets of the year thus far, it may be hard to be bullish on it. Despite it being the third largest crypto, the recent volatility hasn't been kind to XRP's price action, with it underperforming Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Monero, Stellar, and many others in Q1 of 2020, Masari says. But according to a popular crypto trader, the bearish trendline is likely to reverse in the near future. XRP just printed its second positive signal by an analyst. Well, too early to be bullish, and that's actually it. According to Credible Crypto, an asset trader and a YouTuber, the recent recovery rally in the cryptocurrency market has allowed XRP's long-term chart to print a rather positive sign. The trader posted the below chart on April 16th, depicting that XRP has decisively reclaimed a multi-year trendline over the past week, managing to bounce off a downtrend from the all-time high that the cryptocurrency was rejected by 4 times, but has since reclaimed. Okay. Yeah, this is actually something we I think we saw earlier. I can't really remember it too tightly. All right. So here was a false breakout in the beginning of 2020, I guess, all the way till the peak over in like February somewhere. False breakout. We went down below. Bitcoin dropped ridiculously far, and now we are reclaiming it. Yeah, it's a pretty good theory. It managing to make this breakout, Credible wrote, is a sign that the bottom is in, adding that he's so certain about this, he added to his XRP positions as he awaits upside in the coming months. Well, guys, you all know how I am with all these situations. I would always say this is not financial advice. This is purely for entertainment purposes only. But I can give you some, I guess, human advice, just me to you as a person. Be careful with your investments, and please don't listen to people when they say, I've added to my bag, because it doesn't necessarily help them out when you buy, all right? I don't really want to say that that's it, but it really is not always the best thing to do, all right? Everybody has different consequences for their actions. Everybody has different situations going on. But trust me, if any of these guys are buying, they'll be able to afford it, all right? They'll be fine with buying it. And you, possibly it's your last couple of bucks, and you're deciding like, all right, this guy says it's going to go up, so I'm going to buy it quickly. You should not be going for that, all right? If he was so certain, he would most likely just put up 4 mortgages or whatever he would be able to do and really bet all of it on there. But they're never certain, and it's always still a chance game, all right? So please don't ever spend more than you're able to lose, just because I've seen so many people broken by it. And now we see again in a time where people, at least a lot of people, have no job. A lot of people are really struggling for a little bit right now. You see that a lot of money can be lost really, really quickly. I mean, the stocks have plunged, a lot of them, and people lost a lot of money. already. And it might be a lot worse, so make sure you are always careful. And I'm really an advocate of investing, but be careful with what you do and stay solid. Think about everything clearly before you do it. Ripple poised to sell XRP for 21 more years. Here's how much cryptocurrency the payment startup has sold so far. Now, these are statistics, right? These are just informational pieces, and they might put you onto something, some new way of thinking, but it most likely will not. Why? Because it's just a couple of statements. We all know that Ripple will be selling XRP for a very, very long time. Here they're saying until April of 2041. It's a possibility, all right? I actually, you can just really check it out if you want to yourself. We don't know if there will be any new rules coming up later for it though, so that's why I'm like, it's a possibility. And also, how many dollars they've sold, why does it really matter? I don't really know. Jed McCaleb has sold some wills might be selling, so you're just kind of hurting yourself or shooting yourself in your own foot by holding on to these numbers and holding it too dearly. I guess one of the only arguments you could make is I don't like Ripple selling or I don't like these big guys selling, so I'm out. But then if you check for Bitcoin or check any other coin, there's a ton of big guys selling only every day because they've gotten their bag from like 10 years ago and they're just selling every day, every day, every day. And thus you got to make the kind of choice for yourself, like, is this really the worst? Is this worse than in different coins and whatnot? You got to check it out for yourself because I believe Ripple's trading volume makes up like 0.1% of the daily trading volume or something like that, which I think is not really an influence at all. It's some downward pressure, yes, because over the months it adds to a lot of volume, but would it really be surging right now had Ripple not done that? No, I do not think so. Crypto market surges over $200 billion as Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Litecoin soar. Here's why. Well, yeah, Bitcoin went up a little bit. Ethereum went up like quite hard with like 12% earlier today, I believe. And they went above 200 billion market cap again, which it was under for a little while. I mean, every so often it goes above it again. It just took a little bit of a hike right now, which is why they've been quite happy, I must think. So we had a little bit of a period of downtime, and I don't really think anybody has a very very good reason for why this is all going on. They have a little bit of a theory here about one part unemployment and one part Libra. So let's see where they start with Libra. Bitcoin's rally comes after social media giant Facebook revealed its embattled Libra cryptocurrency project will move forward with a pared down version in an attempt to satisfy global regulators. Libra now looks set to be broken up to support multiple coins backed up by individual currencies, and Libra's blockchain will also be significantly more centralized than expected, forcing companies to comply with regulations or face removal. The Bitcoin and cryptocurrency community reacted to the news announced by the Facebook-led nonprofit Libra Association with a mixture of glee and scorn. This is good for Bitcoin, said Maddie Greenspan, the founder of financial advisory firm Quantum Economics, in a note to its clients. Facebook's new watered-down version of Libra is an admission that even they are not able to replicate the immaculate conception of Bitcoin, and that their blockchain will no longer be a serious competitor to any existing crypto asset. It will, however, be a serious contender to PayPal, Venmo, and some other ones, Greenspan said, adding he's not surprised that Bitcoin is up 6%. The main downside of these changes is that the system is less open and less decentralized. Therefore, the Bitcoin community will probably disregard this as another centralized project, said Yoni Asia, the chief executive of brokerage eToro. The rest of this article is more some main stuff, but yeah, pretty cool that Libra has actually taken that move. I didn't expect it to happen, so I'm quite surprised. Bitcoin price pattern awfully close to how Bitcoin crashed from $10,000. Now that Bitcoin has flipped $7,000, analysts are showing bearish attitudes, fearing that after sweeping some highs, Bitcoin will start declining soon. Could sweep the highs again before dropping to 6,800, awfully close to how the 10K top played out, more of the bearish take. On Thursday, Bitcoin managed to break the $7,000 resistance, assuming on the news that the US government announced their intention to start providing the US adult population with regular stimulus checks worth $2,000 in addition to the one-time $1,200 checks they are currently issuing. Pretty strange if you ask me. That's already some talks. I didn't even know that. Could sweep the highs again before dropping to $6,800 by Crypto Michael. He said, rejected at the level we've been watching, still indecisive here. Could sweep the highs back again before dropping down towards 68, 68, 60. And then I'd be looking to get some longs going. Losing that area, and I'm still believing we are seeing lows to $5,000. But on the contrary, Don Alt is saying here, Bitcoin, the daily isn't really super bearish. We should have closed below $7,000 for that, but it is awfully close to how the $10,000 top played out. I'm still just chilling, waiting for something more obvious. And then some other bear, or George in this case. If bulls are in control, Monday high should hold, or month high should hold, break below that, and we most likely go all the way back down. And trader Tyler D. Coates said, if price fails to break through 71.70, then I expect to revisit 65.70 for Bitcoin. Bitcoin price to increase tenfold post-halving, analyst Pen B predicts. You guys know I'm not really too much about that because I think this halving is so odd. We've never seen something happen like this before, so thus you cannot really predict much. And also, 10 times, I mean, that's a little bit too much for my taste, but his tweet was, in my opinion, Bitcoin 2020 halving will be like the 2012 and 2016. As per S2F model, I expect 10 times price, order of magnitudes not precise, 1 to 2 years after the halving. Halving will be make or break for S2F model. I hope this halving will teach us more about the underlying fundamentals and network effects. So one of the things I must admit right there is that there's a good possibility that that's going to occur, right? In the literal sense, 10 times price sounds ridiculous, but then talking about, Bitcoin is $70,000 or something like that, if we times 10 it from right now, that's not that odd, even to me. That's not strange. It's not far away, especially not in the time frame of 2 years. Crypto today. Bitcoin gets ready to string the bear's trap. Here's what you need to know. And we actually covered all of this already in the broader sense. All you need to know about that. There's a little part about DeFi, but nothing has changed too much since we last talked about that. And a little bit about regulators. South African financial regulators look to tighten their approach towards crypto-related business. And yeah, that's a little bit of a movement that's going on as well. But we'll see more conclusions coming up shortly. Today, nothing really special changed. And I just saw this as well. Another, I guess XRP got added somewhere. I don't want to spend too much time on anything gambling related just because I think that's a little bit harmful to the channel, and I don't really think YouTube likes it too much. But XRP got themselves another listing on there. XRP has been getting listings almost as often as it used to get them. I think they're still getting it, really quite a ton. And it also shows again that even though prices might not be doing too good, the adoption train does not stop. It's for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, for XRP. The adoption doesn't stop per se. It's really just quite a lot with the price. That's the biggest issue here. It's not in terms of adoption, not in terms of what kind of partnerships they get, and especially the companies kind of looking out for them. Like for example, the Stellar Foundation or Ripple kind of looking out for XRP, and a lot of other foundations there. They're still doing their job as fine as ever, right? They're not stopping right now. They're not sitting on their ass because of CV, because of the pandemic. No, they keep continuing on. A lot of partnerships are being made, and thus it's not that strange if we still see a lot of really big things coming up here, even in the months that things are not doing that well. And also, there might be a couple of really cool things coming up, guys. I think some really big things might be coming up, especially now that the halving is so close around the corner. We might have to prepare ourselves. But that was it for this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure you press the like button. I'll see you guys again in another crypto one. I'll be doing a couple of videos today, so make sure you subscribe. See you guys again in another crypto video.